Hi, everyone. Welcome to our introduction of the new course registration platform, Self-Service, for current Trent students. My name is Madison. My pronouns are she, her, and I work with the records and registration team within the Office of the Registrar. And now I'll have my colleague presenting here with me today to introduce themselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Walsh-Hopkins. I'm an academic advisor on the East Bank of campus. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be helping walk you through our new course registration system, Self-Service.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. So before we begin, we want to encourage everyone to write down any questions that you may have throughout the presentation. Should your question not be answered by the end, we encourage you to review the additional resources that are available to students on the Academic Advising webpage. Or for further support, please feel more than welcome to connect with Academic Advising or the Office of the Registrar. The goals for today's session include 1, reviewing the steps for preparing course registration this month. Remind you of the resources available to you on the Academic Advising website. Introduce the new features of self-service to current students, and identify some of the differences and benefits of this new system.
Okay, so there are kind of 4 things that you can be doing to prepare yourself for course registration. So these include how it is important to review both the university degree requirements and your program requirements in the academic calendar. These are 2 different things, and you need to meet both requirement listings. Using the academic timetable to choose and plan your courses for both the fall and winter term. 3, create a class schedule that works for you and plan your courses in self-service. And then 4, check out the priority registration schedule, which is which day and time slot that you will register when course registration opens this month. So one of the things that you can do to prepare for course registration is check out the Academic Advising website, where we've broken down the steps into 4 corresponding resource pages. This screenshot shows you the course selection and registration landing page through the Academic Advising website, which is trentu.ca/advising. And you will see that there are hyperlinked steps, as well as a handy menu on the right-hand side, which you can navigate through. And we have embedded videos on the how-to video page, which is listed under the video tutorials tab. There are also Trent resources that you will use during course registration. And this is where you're going to be navigating and using the resources as a student registering. So some of the things you'll want to use are the academic timetable, the academic calendar, and new this year, the self-service platform. These are all available in your My Trent resource portal. The self-service can be found both under the academics tab, where it's called self-service, or you will see under the register tab, the academic calendar, the timetable, as well as a course registration icon, which will also bring you to self-service. So this is going to be review for many of you, but we feel that it's important to kind of reiterate some of these steps when you're planning for course registration, which is ultimately planning your degree. So students are encouraged to use the academic calendar for the year in which they've declared their major. As changes are made to program requirements, students may choose to complete their studies under program requirements of any subsequent academic calendar, provided that you are enrolled in the program during that academic year and meet those requirements in their entirety. This includes minors, specializations, and options, as well as your major requirements. It is the responsibility of the student to consult the appropriate academic calendar and follow the regulations and requirements as stated. Students will have the opportunity to declare their academic calendar year when they apply to graduate. And this is something that you can do when you apply to graduate at the end of your degree. So in addition to program and university requirements, The academic calendar has a lot of other helpful information, including important dates and deadlines. So you can actually find when reading breaks are right now in the academic calendar. They also have academic policies, information on minors, specializations, options, and other special opportunities, as well as much more. Some things that are important to know about meeting your university degree requirements. And just so you know, this is separate from program requirements and found at the beginning of the academic calendar. So you need to have at least 3 credits leading to different majors, and these need to have an average or a minimum grade of 60%. There's a maximum number of credits that you can have in most degrees. So you can't take your full degree in just one subject matter. If you're pursuing a Bachelor of Science, you need to ensure that you're meeting those specific Bachelor of Science requirements, including having a minimum requirement of science courses. And you need to have 0.5 credit from the approved Indigenous course list. You can see this on page 18. And so just note, it's not any Indigenous course, it is from the approved Indigenous course requirement list. Another thing that I'd like to reiterate is that this is your education. It's your responsibility to make sure that you are meeting your program requirements, the university requirements. And at the end of the day, nobody told me or I didn't know won't be sufficient as excuses as to why you haven't met program or degree requirements if you find that you haven't when you go to graduate. So this is where it's really important to get used to using the academic calendar, referring to the requirements in the academic calendar, both university degree requirements and program requirements, as well as using the resources on campus like academic advising to ensure that you are on the right track for your program. Okay, so some more review on when you're choosing or when you're picking courses. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with this, but let's look at understanding course codes. So what you see here is Psych 3016, which is a brand new course in psychology. So first you will see that there is Psych. So PSYC is the department code for psychology. All of our programs have a department code. Most make a lot of sense. And if you ever have any questions, just check out the academic calendar. But that is how you indicate which department the course comes from. 3016 is the code for the specific psychology course. Note that the 3 indicates the course level. So 3000, it's a 3000 level course. And sometimes you'll hear folks refer to it as a 3rd-year course. You don't have to just take 3000 level courses in your 3rd year. You may take a 3000 level course in your 2nd year or in your 5th year. That's totally okay. Just know that sometimes using 3000 or 3rd year are somewhat synonymous, but not exclusive, that you have to only take, say, a 3000 level course in your 3rd year. The H at the end of the code tells you the value of the course. So H stands for 0.5 or half credit. We also have courses that end in Y or D. So the Y indicates a full year course, so a 1 credit value course. And D stands for double credit, so a 2 credit course, and is often used for thesis or placement courses. So next we're going to turn to step 2 in the course selection and registration process, which is choosing your courses. I want to encourage you all to take some time and actually kind of investigating what is being offered this year and how those courses meet your program requirements. So as you know, you're going to be spending a lot of time in and outside of your courses in the studying, reading, lectures. So it's important that you're choosing thoughtfully those courses that you're going to be investing so much time in. I also would like to encourage you to start looking at prerequisites for the courses you want to take, but also courses that you may want to take in the future to ensure that you're meeting those prerequisites now, so that, say, when you get to your 3rd or your 4th year, you are able to take all those courses that you want to. It's also important to note that not all courses are offered in both fall and winter terms. Sometimes they're offered in one or the other. So for this reason, in the final steps of choosing courses, it's important for you to know the semesters that they're offered. So when you're loading them into self-service, you're loading them into the right semester. Both the academic timetable and the course catalog, which is accessed in self-service, will give you detailed information about when courses are offered, so the semesters they're offered in. Moving on to an example of what the academic timetable looks like, and we will show you what it looks like to look for a course in the course catalog shortly. So this shows you a snapshot of some 1,000 level psychology courses. So here you're going to see that it's going to break down components of the program, of the course. So the lab, the seminar, the lecture, as well as locations, semesters, and information on things like prerequisite if you click on the hyperlink. So from the slide, you can see that courses are listed as either on the Peterborough or Durham GTA campus or web-based. You can see here that Psych 1020 is being offered both as an online web-based course and on the Peterborough campus. Psychology 1030H is being offered both on the Peterborough campus and the Durham GTA campus. If a course is noted as web in the as a web-based course in the campus column, it is fully designed to be an online course. For these courses, there's typically no set dates or times for classes, and you as a student have more flexibility for when you're going to be studying and consuming those lectures and seminars and completing coursework. If a course is offered in person, they will have a location, dates, and times of when it's offered. Additionally, there may be instructions in the instruction column for more information. It is important that when you're building your schedule, that you're choosing a section of a course that is being offered on the campus that you plan to attend. So just make sure that if you're a Peterborough-based student, that you're not selecting a Durham-based course and vice versa. So you can see here, for example, that Psych 1020C has both a lecture and a seminar. What you will do is actually choose the seminar option and know that you're going to be attending the lecture as well. Here is some more information about the instruction column. So you can see here that for some courses, the instruction column won't have anything in it. That's totally normal. And some courses will have some instructions or a lot of instructions in it. So if you are looking at a course that has something in the instruction column, it's really important that you pay attention to that instruction column. So for example, on this slide, you'll see that Forensics 1011H restricts certain labs to students in specific programs. If you're not in that program and you try to register for a lab that is restricted to students only in that program, you'll not be able to register in the lab. The solution is to choose a different lab that is not restricted. So examples of other instructions that you may find are how often seminars are offered. Sometimes they're offered every other week, or if an exam is in person for a remotely offered course. By reviewing the academic timetable, you're going to be able to ensure that you're actually choosing courses that you're going to be able to register into when course registration time comes. Another aspect that you can see on the academic timetable is whether a course is offered, like I said, in person or remote, hybrid, or online, so that web-based delivery. You'll notice that remote and hybrid courses will have an R, an S, or a T in the course code. This is going to be the definition between different sections. So typically a section for an in-person course is going to be section A, section B, section C, and those are all distinct lectures and seminars. The same goes for remote or hybrid courses. You're going to find an R, an S, a T to indicate different lab seminar combinations. It's important to pay attention to a web-based course. There's either going to be asynchronous options, which are things that you do completely on your own. So whether you like to study at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, that's totally fine. Or some courses delivered remotely are going to have synchronous options where maybe you have to log in at a certain time. So just make sure you're paying close attention to those features. So now for the big introduction to self-service, this new system that you've been hearing about. And I would just like to acknowledge that while change can be exciting, it can also be a bit scary, a bit uncomfortable, and maybe a bit stressful. And I totally hear that, totally acknowledge it. And I just want you to know that we are here to help. So folks in the Office of the Registrar in academic advising, we're here to help you navigate this new system. And I think you're really going to like it once we all get the hang of it. So self-service is a new system to Trent, and it houses not only course registration, but a number of other services, including an optional degree planning and checking system, as well as things like your application to graduate. One of the biggest benefits that I like so far of this service is that everything kind of happens in one place. There is no navigating from page to page or website to website. You can search for courses, plan out your full degree, plan out your each semester for the upcoming year, and register all in one spot. We've also created a number of step-by-step short videos that you can find on the Academic Advising website. So though, while I think this is going to be a great explanation to self-service, if you need a fresh, quick reminder, you can also find that on the Academic Advising website. So let's talk about some kind of differences in what we did have and what we now have. So the first is the visual schedule builder. Now in self-service, instead of using the visual schedule builder, which was an external program that you could then send information into MyTrent, in the new self-service, you can take your course plan from your full degree plan of all the courses that you intend to take to breaking it down to semesters where you're going to register and actually build a schedule based on that. So as long as courses are in the appropriate semester, you can actually find the sections, the days, the times when they're offered, and build your schedule that way. It is completely self-driven, so manual, so you do need to be choosing those courses. And if you need to make changes because of conflicts, it's super easy to see options that may work better for you instead of having to scroll through pages upon pages until you find something that you like. Next is express registration in the old system. It all essentially is express registration now. There's no need for synonyms. There's no need for the preferred section. You're going to be building your schedule and registering all on the same page. And then course register and drop. You register and drop courses, again, all on that same page. The icon is either going to say register when you're good to go. And once you've registered, if you want to go back and make some changes, drop a course, add something new, you just go to the drop icon. So again, it all exists in the exact same place.
Thanks, Jen. So now that we've introduced everyone to self-service, we will begin to look at the course catalog option, which is a key tool for course registration moving forward. This is because in addition to using the academic timetable, students will need to use the course catalog within self-service to add the course sections that they've identified using the academic timetable to their course plan, which will be discussed further on in this presentation. Now, the course catalog is available as an option when students first enter self-service from their MyTrent portal, and we've outlined this in red on the slide. Moving forward, I will be referring to both course section and general course several times. When I refer to a course section, I'm referring to the course section code that can be found in the second column of the academic timetable. For example, we have psych or PSYC hyphen 3016H hyphen A hyphen F01. When I refer to the general course, I am referring to just the course code, such as psych, again, PSYC hyphen 3016H. That's it. So once a student selects the course catalog, they'll be given the option to search for the course sections they intend to register for by a subject search or alternatively an advanced search option. The search bar is also a great addition for students who are exploring elective courses based on interest and/or career paths. Under the subject search, you can search for courses using common words in the search bar. For example, if you're looking to enroll in a business administration course, you can simply type business admin into the search bar. The subjects that match your keyword will then populate as you type in real time. You can then click one of the subject results and all of the courses for that subject will populate. Afterwards, students are presented with a variety of filter options to help narrow their search even further. Alternatively, if you have consulted the academic timetable to confirm which courses are being offered in a specific term and want to search for these specific course sections on self-service, the advanced search will be much quicker. You will receive results in the same format as the subject search tab, but the filters are already applied. Now, the filter options are available on the left side of the screen once a student completes their initial search. These filters allow students to search for courses offered on a specific campus, such as Peterborough, Durham GTA, or online. Courses offered in a specific term, whether that be the fall 2023 term or the winter 2024 term. Courses taught by a specific professor, or even specific course levels such as first year, second year, and more. Now, let's hop over to self-service to view the course catalog together. All right, so now we're in My Trent, and we're going to navigate into self-service. So as Jen mentioned previously, we can enter self-service under the Academics tab of My Trent using the self-service option under Academic Record. And that brings us to the home page of self-service. And as I had mentioned, course catalog is immediately available to select. So if we select course catalog, here we're automatically given sort of our three options. We can search for a course in the search bar. We have our advanced search option as well as our subject search option. So let's use the example of Psych 3016. Let's say we took a look at the academic timetable, which I do have open for us to take a look at. We're looking at the undergraduate academic timetable, explore. We'll select our term as the 2023-24 academic year. Psychology, let's say we want a Peterborough course. Looking for that 3016, so third year. Amazing. So right away, we're given that Peterborough option here at the top with the several different sections that are available. We know that we are going to have to attend the lecture on Tuesdays, beginning at 3 p.m. I prefer a good morning course, like to get my courses done bright and early. So I think I want to attempt to register for this AFO1 section, which will have a workshop at 9 a.m. So just taking note, that is the section code. And we know that this is taking place in the fall 2023 term. So if we go back to self-service, we're in that course catalog. In the search bar, I could type the Psych 3016H, enter, and that pulls the course option. If we go back, we can go through the advanced search. So because we looked at the academic timetable, we know that that course is going to take place in the 2023 UG or undergraduate fall term. I think it's important here to note that we can ignore these grad terms. These are meant for students completing their graduate studies. Subject as psychology. There we go. We can type in the course number, which is 3016H. If we wanted to, we can type in the section, which is A-F01. And we can continue on. We could put the location, click search. And there we have that Psych 3016H AFO1 for the 2023 fall term. If we scroll over, we see a lot of the information that's provided to students in the academic timetable is also provided to students in course catalog, such as the term, its status, the section code, the short title, when the course is running, its location, the instructional components. So there's a lecture and a workshop, the meeting times, the availability. So here we see that 30/0/30/0. If we hover over this I information button, here we see that stands for available, taken, capacity, and waitlisted, credits, etc. And then again, as I had mentioned previously, once we've completed that initial search, we get these filter options on the left-hand side. Now let's try this through a subject search. Let's say hypothetically, we didn't look at the academic timetable. We just know we want to take a psychology course. Here in the search bar, we can type psych. Boom, it comes up first. It pulls up all of the psychology courses Trent has to offer. We can apply some filters. So I'm a Peterborough student. I want 10 courses at the Peterborough campus only. I want the course in the UG fall term. Third year, I'm going into my third year, let's say. And we can continue to narrow down with these filters, but this is more than enough where we see that Psych 3016, where we get the course description, the prerequisites, and the different locations there. Okay. So now that we have a brief understanding of how the course catalog works, let's hop back over to the presentation to continue, why don't we? Awesome. Now we move into creating a schedule where you get the chance to organize your courses for the whole year. That's right. We strongly recommend that you register for both your fall and winter term courses at the same time, because if you wait to register for your winter term courses later, you do risk courses filling up. Now here, we have some questions you should consider before creating your schedule, because sometimes creating your schedule is more than choosing courses based on what day they're being offered. Some questions to ask yourself are, what time of day do you work best? Would you prefer a day filled with classes so that you may have a few days off to do your work? Or perhaps you prefer days with multiple breaks between your classes? If you participate in any extracurricular activities or even work, you may want to consider this when building your schedule as well. Academic Skills provides some great online resources for time management, study skills, and much more on their website. We encourage you to review these resources as you prepare your class schedule for the upcoming year. Next, we are going to continue where we left off in course catalog and show you how to start creating your class schedule by adding a general course or a course section to your course plan within self-service. Students have the option to either add the general course or the specific course section to their course plan. If a student has identified a specific course section that they would like to register for, let's say it's because it's the only section of a course open to their major, as an example, then we recommend they add the course section to their course plan. This is identified in the bottom image on this slide. By selecting Add Section to Schedule, the course section will be placed on the student's course plan under the term for which it is being offered. If a student has not identified a specific course section they wish to register for, they may choose to just add the general course to their course plan instead. By selecting Add Course to Plan, identified in the top image on the slide, the student will be prompted to select a term to add the course to. This is where it's very important you have consulted the academic timetable to ensure that you select the correct term. Again, you only need to worry about those undergraduate terms. Furthermore, if you select a term that the course is not being offered in, you will not be given the opportunity to select a specific course section to register for later. If you do select the correct term, then you will be given the option later to select a specific course section to actually register for. So within Plan Your Degree and Register for Your Courses, each term has its own course plan. If you have added fall, winter, and perhaps a full year course to your course plan, you will be able to toggle to all 3 terms. However, we encourage you to work on one term at a time when creating your schedule. Here we have the example of Indig for Indigenous Studies -1001H, Foundations for Reconciliation. As mentioned previously, if a student adds the general course to their course plan, rather than the specific course section as shown in the image on the slide, they will not be given the option to register. To register into Indig 1001H, the student will need to select View Other Sections option and then add the specific course section to their course plan. Again, it is so important to ensure that we add the general course to the correct term, because if we have not, then we may not be given any options when selecting that View Other Sections, and that can cause further confusion. Once you have added the courses you intend to register for to your course plan, you will go to Student Planning and Registration within Self-Service. This is where you will be able to review the courses in your course plan, make any necessary changes, such as replacing a general course with a specific course section, and actually register for your courses. Like the course catalog, Student Planning and Registration is available as an option when students first enter self-service from the My Trent portal, and we've outlined this in red on the slide. When you open Student Planning and Registration, the current active term you plan or have registered courses in will show on the home page. The first step is to select Plan Your Degree and register for your courses. Now, let's go back to self-service to see how we can add both a course section and a general course to our course plan, and how we can view our course plan. And we're back in self-service. So here on the screen, you'll see we're back in that self-service homepage. Now we're adding courses to our course plan. We're going to see what that looks like in the course plan itself. So let's use our example of Psych 3016 again. And because we reviewed the academic timetable, let's use the advanced search option. So again, we know that that's being offered in the 2023 UG fall term. The subject is psychology. It is 3016H, section A-F01. We are looking for the Peterborough option and search. So right away, we're given that section we can add to our course plan. Going back, doing it through the subject search, typing in that psych. Right away, we get our option. We're going to apply some of our filters. Great feature of self-service. We can search for only open sections. Peterborough. We want that fall term. And that 3rd year. So at the top here, we have that Psych 3016 course. And this is where we have those 2 options where we can add the general course, so the Psych-3016H to our course plan, or we can add the specific course section. We want to add the specific course section. We would select View Available Sections for Psych 3016. And then by term, it's going to show us all of the different sections that are available for this course. So previously I mentioned, I personally would like to register for section AFO1. It has a workshop that begins at 9 a.m. I'm an early bird. That's when I think I would work best. So I select Add Section to Schedule. It's going to open up a window with the details. Here we just have warnings. So here it's warning us of the prerequisite that we need a 60% or higher in Psych 2018. Same thing, we need a 60% or higher in Psych 2019H, and a minimum of 8 university credits. Again, at this point, these are just warnings as they're in yellow. We have the course description, and then we can even access bookstore information should we select this hyperlink. So everything looks good to me. I'm going to add that section to my course plan. And then in the top corner here, I get this sort of green check that yes, it has been added to my schedule. Now, this does not mean you have registered for the course yet. Okay. Now, let's say we also want to search for a winter course. I could deselect the fall term. Let's say we select the winter term, and I'm going to opt to register for Psych 3017H. Now, I didn't really look at the timetable for this, so I think I'm just going to add the course to my plan and then select that specific course section later on. So if we add course to plan, and again, it's giving us a description of the course, any prerequisites. So we see that we have to complete that 3016 prior credit value. And now we have to select the term we want to add it to. Well, I don't really know what term this course is being offered in. I didn't check the timetable. I didn't really look for more information. I'm just going to guess, let's go with 2023 fall. And we add it to our plan. Same idea, we get that green check mark confirming that yes, it has been added to our course plan. Again, that does not mean we've registered for the course. So now that we've used the course catalog to actually add courses to our course plan, both that general course as well as that specific course section, let's actually go to the course plan. And we can do that by, if we were to go to our home page, we want to select that student planning and registration right next to the course catalog. We then want to plan your degree and register for classes. We can select this hyperlink. As I said, it's going to open sort of that current active term, and we can toggle over to the first term we're registering for or planning. So in that case, we're going to work with just the fall term to begin. And here we see that we added that Psych 3016H AFO1. It's planned. Okay. And let's say as we add more courses, we're like, we don't really like where the Psych 3016 is anymore. We have the option right here in self-service to start viewing all the other available sections, and those kind of highlight as you hover over them. Okay. Now, that's weird. Why isn't Psych 3017 giving me any options to select? Well, the likely cause is because this Psych 3017 course is not actually being offered in the fall 2023 term. If we were to go to the academic timetable and look, it's likely we would find that that course is actually being offered in the winter 2024 term. So what I would recommend in this case is we can then move the course to the winter 2024 term, and I'll show you how to do that later on. For now, let's head on back to the presentation. So here we have provided an image of what a student's course plan for the 2023 UG or undergraduate fall term may look like as they begin to register for their course sections. You'll see that the courses that have successfully registered for appear in green within the schedule. These courses also have a green notification box and the drop option within the course list on the left side. Courses that present an error appear in red on the schedule. Courses with an error will also have a red notification box within the course list that identifies that error. In this example, we see that math-1051H-A-F08 conflicts with BIOL or biology -1020H-A-AF01. And despite being presented with the register button, if we were to try and register for this course, the registration would not go through. For this reason, we would have to find a different section of Math 1051H that does not cause a conflict. And as we saw in self-service, we can do that by viewing those other available sections. Now, before we continue, I want to highlight another neat feature of self-service here, and that is once a student has registered for all their courses, they can choose to copy their class schedule into their digital calendar or print the schedule. These options are titled Save to iCal and Print respectively and are identified at the top of the image. So far, we have been working under the calendar view. However, timeline view offers another way to plan courses. And when students have planned courses in future terms, so prior to the release of the academic timetable, which verifies if a course section is available to register in, the timeline view will expand. And a great benefit of the timeline view is that if a general course is not available in the term that you have added it to, you can use the timeline view to drag the course to the term where it is available. So if we think back to self-service where we had that Psych 3017 and we weren't given any options to register in that fall 2023 term, if we were to go into the timeline view, we could select that course, drag it over to that winter 2024 term, drop it, which would switch it over, and we would then be given different section options to choose. And another great feature of the timeline view is that you can plan your courses for future terms. So as you see there, there's that added term. So perhaps there's a course that you know you want to take or you have to take, but you're not planning on taking it this year. You can kind of work with a little roadmap and schedule that course for a future term. And then once the academic timetable for that term is released, you can go back and verify that. So next, we want to provide an example of what a student's course plan should look like once they planned all their course sections and ensure that there are no errors. And we see that in the image as all the courses we have listed there are in yellow, meaning that they're planned. Again, courses that are planned are not registered for yet. You may also notice that we switched that Math 1051H section AFO8 for Math 1051H section AFO6, which resolved the conflict that was presented on that previous slide. We're now given the option to select registered for our planned course sections. So you might be taking some time to start building your schedule and getting all your courses planned prior to your priority registration day. Until that day comes, you will not be given the blue register button. However, that does not mean you should not plan your courses. We highly, highly recommend that you take some time now to do so. And we can continue to the next slide. Awesome. So we're almost there, folks. Another feature that we want to emphasize is that of prerequisites. So just like the old system, where students could submit a prerequisite waiver for the courses that they didn't meet the prerequisites for, you can do that exact same thing in self-service. So if a student attempts to register for a course and they receive that prerequisite error message, and that's going to appear as a yellow text box in the top right corner of self-service after you've attempted your registration, then you may choose to submit a prerequisite waiver. That yellow text box in the top right corner should not be confused with the yellow warning text boxes provided on the course tile on the left side of the student's course plan, or here in the image, that pop-up window that appeared and we saw in self-service those yellow warnings. We don't want to confuse the prerequisite error with those. Now, if we're submitting a prerequisite waiver, the student first has to ensure that you've added the specific course section to your plan. So again, let's say we wanted to register for that Psych 3016H AFO1. We know we don't meet the prerequisites for that yet. What I need to do is we need to still add it to our course plan. And once the specific course section's in our course plan, we can then go to the prerequisite waiver form that is available under the academics tab of the My Trent portal. Within the form, we can then select that Psych 3016, fill in the form, submit it, and then the academic department will make its decision. Once a decision has been made, you will be notified your Trent University email account. If the prerequisite waiver is approved, it's going to appear under what's called Petitions and Waivers tab, and that was within that page of Plan Your Degree and Register for your classes, just above where we saw the option to save to our iCalendar or to print the schedule. And again, if it's approved, when you return to that course plan, you will then be given the blue register button. If it's denied, you will not see it appear in that Petitions and Waivers tab, and you still will not have the option to register. Now, if a section is full, so the section you've submitted your prerequisite waiver for is full, you can switch it out for a different section, and you should then be given the option to register if your petition was approved. The other thing we have to remember is our waitlisted courses. So if a specific course section is full, but a waitlist is available, the student will have the option to waitlist rather than register in that Plan Your Degree and Register for Classes window. Once the student has successfully waitlist for the specific course section, their place on the waitlist will be available on the course tile, which is that left side of the student course plan, and we can see that here in the image. And then it's important to note that the waitlist options that used to exist under the academics and then courses sub-tab of My Trent is no longer available. Again, with waitlisted courses, if you do waitlist for a course, it is very important that you monitor your Trent University email account regularly, because as space becomes available in the specific course section that you have waitlisted for, the first waitlisted student will receive a notice to their Trent University email account to register within 72 hours. And that's 72 hours from the time you get the email. If you receive that notice, then you can return to your course plan where you then will be given the option to register. If you don't register within the 72 hours, then what will happen is you'll be removed from the waitlist and you'll see that specific course just appear as planned. And I think with that, we can go on to the next slide, Ashley. So this brings us to the last step, step 4, which is actually registering for your courses. And as I said before, once you get to the point in self-service where all your courses are planned and there's no errors anymore, once your priority registration day comes, you'll then be given that blue register button, and you can select register on each course section you've planned, or you can opt to register for all your courses at the same time. I want to emphasize that before you attempt to register for your classes, you have accepted your required agreement. This is completed within self-service, and this is something you can do right now. Second, I want to make sure you have planned your courses again for both the fall and winter terms. You have prepared a list of backup course sections in case a section you have selected is full. This will make revising your schedule much easier. And finally, you have resolved any course conflicts in your course schedule. Once you have ensured that the steps above are completed, you again can select register for your planned course sections for each individual course, or the register now button to register for all your course sections at the same time. Sorry, can we pause? So once we've ensured that the 4 steps above are completed, you can select register again for each individual planned course section, or you can select that register now button for all the course sections under that one term. So you would have to select that register now for that fall term, for the winter term, and if you've opted to take a full year term, for that full year term. And by selecting that, that would register all the course sections under that term. So once you have successfully registered for your courses, you will receive confirmation of your registration in an automated email from the registrar's office to your Trent University email inbox. You can also verify your registration was successful in a few different ways. First, your courses in self-service will no longer be labeled as planned, but rather they be labeled as registered. And the drop option will replace that register option on the left side in that course list. The second option is to look at your academic record, and that's available under the academics tab of your MyTrent portal. And the final option, my personal favorite, is to review your unofficial transcript. And that again is also available under the academics tab. Now, priority registration allows students with the most credits an opportunity to register for their courses in their major before those who have not acquired as many credits. This process helps to ensure that students close to graduation are getting the courses needed to complete their degree requirements. The priority course registration period opens on June 14th for registration in the fall and winter semesters, half-credit courses, as well as the full fall-winter academic year courses. Now, things with the priority registration schedule have also changed slightly this year, so it's important that you pay close attention to the priority registration time slot. Are you going to be registering at 8 a.m. or are you going to be registering at 1 p.m.? If your registration day falls between June 14th and the 23rd, you will have an assigned time slot and will not be permitted to register earlier in that day. On June 26th, 27th, and 28th, registration will be open to everyone at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, support is available in the college offices, and they are available each day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, as you start to use self-service, there are a few troubleshooting common errors that you might come across. For example, you might experience that the pages are loading slowly. There will be a large volume of traffic on the self-service system when the registration time slots open. We ask that you just be patient and refresh your login pages throughout that time. You may find that your required agreement notifications will not clear off a self-service. We encourage you to attempt the registration if you have completed the agreements. Once you have accepted your agreements, please note that it may take up to 15 minutes for those agreements to clear, in which case you'll want to log off a self-service and then log back in. If you come across that you have a registration hold for outstanding fees, please contact the student accounts office. Their telephone number is available here on the screen, as well as their email address. If you cannot register for a planned course, double check the course section availability on the academic timetable. Again, you may have mistakenly planned it for the wrong term, or you may have missed a prerequisite. Another common error is a course has a waitlist or the section is full, in which case you can consult the academic timetable for a different course section or the waitlist status. And lastly, we have a few key dates that we would like to highlight for everyone. And these can be found on page 9 to 12 of the 2023-2024 academic calendar. It is very important to familiarize yourself with these dates and add them to your calendar, just in case you find yourself considering making changes to your course selection after registration. So for example, we have the fall term add/change deadline that is September 21st. Likewise, we have the winter term add/change deadline that's January 22nd. The final date to withdraw from your fall 2023 courses is November 7th. Any courses that are still registered for after that date will remain on your record and you will receive a final grade, just like the final date for withdrawal for your winter courses, which is March 8th.
Okay, so something else that is involved with the self-service, and probably one of my favorite aspects, is called My Progress. So this isn't specifically a course registration tool, but we thought that you would probably find it, and having some guidance on how to use it would be super helpful. So this is a degree progress tracking tool where you can see what is still left in your program and your university requirements, what you've completed, what is in progress. It's a great tool, but it's not a perfect tool. So we want to make sure that you know how to use it, when it can be very helpful, and when you should be asking for help potentially. So like I said, this is a new tool within self-service, and it is important to remember when using it that when you apply to graduate, the Office of the Registrar conducts a final assessment on your eligibility based on the academic calendar, so those university requirements in the academic calendar, as well as your program requirements. This is really what you need to be relying on, ensuring that you have met those requirements, and you should be referencing the actual academic calendar to ensure that you've met that. So again, this is a tool to help you. It is not the sole tool that you should be relying on to ensure that you are meeting your requirements. So you will submit an application to graduate. The application to graduate is included in self-service. So again, you can do that all in that one system. And you will find deadlines to apply to graduate under the important date section of the academic calendar. One piece that I always advise students is as soon as you're able to apply to graduate, typically late September, early October of your final year of study, if you're looking to graduate at the end of that winter semester, is a great time to apply to graduate so that you can get that final check conducted underway. And if you need to make some changes, you have lots of time to make those changes. Again, like I've mentioned, and I'm going to mention again, you need to be following the academic calendar to ensure that you're meeting those university requirements and program requirements. If you notice a difference between the My Progress listing of what you need, the university requirements or program requirements, versus what the academic calendar says, the academic calendar is what you need to be following. So if there's a difference, always revert to the academic calendar. If you have any questions, definitely make an academic advising appointment. We can help kind of decipher what things mean, where there's differences, and let you know kind of where you are on completing your degree. Where can you find My Progress? You go to self-service and you can find it under the title Student Planning and Registration. So it's the student planning part of that. So when you're looking at My Progress, the first thing that's going to come up is your name, then your cumulative average, which is listed as cumulative GPA, your degree type, so Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, whether it's an honors program or not, your major, so your specific course major being English or biology, also joint major listings, maybe you're doing an English and biology degree program. As well, minors and specializations will be listed if you're doing a minor or specialization. The catalog listed is the academic calendar. So when it says catalog, it's giving you the date, so 2022, 2023, of the academic calendar that it is pulling the program requirements from. Then you'll see on the right-hand side, there's like a little kind of tracking visual, which is going to indicate courses where you've earned the credit, and it excludes repeated attempts and failed courses. You're also going to get total credits from this school. So just note that this doesn't include transfer credits or exchange credits, even though those will make up part of your total credit calculation. And now we're going to transition to a live version of My Progress, and we're going to review what it looks like. Okay, so welcome to what the My Progress screen looks like in self-service. And first, I'd like to highlight that we are first going to be looking at the university requirements, which are listed, and this is for a Bachelor of Science degree. So university degree requirements will always come first, and these are the more generalized requirements that apply to wide swaths of students at the university. So a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, honors, or general. So in this case, we're going to be looking at the Bachelor of Science university requirements. The first one that we see here is credits at the 2000 level or higher. So that's what that plus means. This is actually an inverse requirement notation to what you will actually see in the academic calendar. The academic calendar requirement that this is referring to is ensuring that students are not using more than 7.0 credits at the 1000 level towards their degree. And you will see that description underneath the title A that's bolded. So what it's actually counting is ensuring that students have 13 or more credits at the 2000 level or higher, which is ensuring that no more than 7 1000 level credits are being used. So as we scroll down here, you will first see in red that it is highlighting 4.5 of 13 credits are completed. That is very specific because it is completed courses. So next here, you'll see that you've got completed and transfer equivalency courses here. So those are courses that are done. They have a grade or a grade notation. And then slightly below that, you'll see that you have some planned courses that are in yellow. These are not being counted in the completed courses because they're not yet completed. They are planned courses. I'll also note that these are not registered for courses. These are simply planned courses. So if we scroll down here, you will see that we have the next requirement, which is 7 credits at the 3,000 level or higher. This is an honors requirement notation. There is also a requirement for 4 credits at the 3,000 level for general students. And you'll see here that we have 0.5 of 7 credits completed. So we have a transfer credit and again, some planned courses. Next, when we go down to C, this is ensuring that students have 3 credits with a grade of 60 or higher, leading to different disciplines. This requirement is complete, and so Progress collapses it so that it's not taking up as much space on your screen. You can bring it out again so you can see what your 3 credits are leading to different areas, but note that when something is green, it's completed, it collapses so that you don't have to pay attention to it anymore. So scrolling down to D, which is 14 science credits. Again, this is an honors requirement for the science degree. And you'll see here that we had 8.5 of 14 credits completed. Again, you'll see completed, transfer equivalencies, and any courses that are planned. You will also see, I'll note that if we had some courses that were in progress, they would show up as green, as in progress. And if they were registered for, they would be yellow and say registered. Also, if a section is planned fully, it will not represent the completed credits, but it will say fully planned and what's missing that you have to complete. So if you move down, we've completed the math credit, that's great. And we still have the Indigenous course requirement still needed. So this lists all of the approved Indigenous course requirements for that degree requirement. It is a big, long list, and there are some repeats as there are cross-listed courses, but this gives you a comprehensive list of all of the 0.5 credits that you could take that would meet this requirement. Once you've met this requirement, again, it collapses and you're not going to look at a big list of courses. So next coming up is where you will see your program requirements. Again, 2 sections to a degree. So now we're doing the Bachelor of Science Honors Psychology requirements. You'll see here that we've completed some of the psychology requirements. These are found in the academic calendar. So this is your 1020, 1030 requirements. One thing that I will actually note here is that there's also an old course from way back when I was a student at Trent that you could take. So this person has taken 1020, 1030, and it's then fulfilled this Psych 1010, which is an old course that no longer exists. So if your program has something like that, know that when you meet it, it will collapse even if you have this kind of unknown course that you've never heard of before. So moving on, this student needs to take additional courses that are listed here. This is a specific course, so this advanced statistics is a very specific course that the student would need to take based on their academic calendar. And then below that is the 4th year requirement. This states that 1.0 credit from psychology at the 4,000 level is required, but it can be met by any credit at the 4,000 level as long as it's coming from psychology. So that is why there's not a huge list of courses, because it can be any 4,000 level course that meets that. So if it's specific courses, they will be listed. And if it's a more generalized requirement that doesn't have specific courses listed, it's just going to be kind of more wide open. Once the student completes courses in this area, then you'll see them noted as in progress, complete, all of that fun stuff. Moving down, psychology also has category requirements. The categories in psychology are a fairly short list, so you'll see them listed here. So if this were me, I would be able to see that, oh, I need to take 1 of these credits. So 0 of 0.5 is completed. So a fun or a neat thing about this is if you're going off of your progress, you can actually select on one of these courses and it's going to loop you into the course registration process. So that is also a way that you can be looking and registering for courses. So if this looks familiar, it should. Madison reviewed it. We can look for sections, go through all of that. And we'll head back to my progress. Scroll down. Da, 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 da. And then, so again, this is just going through all of the requirements that you see. So this is a really nice tracking system for students. It's a way to keep you on track, kind of planning your courses. You can have your whole degree planned out from today until the end of your degree, and it will show you if you have any gaps in your plan. Again, this is a useful tool. It is not a perfect tool. So there are some issues that do show up in my progress, including it doesn't count grades that are in the 50s or a D grade. So note that we do have university requirements around D grades, and this is not sensitive enough to track those. And if it looks different than the academic calendar, sometimes it lists program requirements in a different order than the academic calendar. And if it seems like it's wrong compared to the academic calendar, always go by the academic calendar, not this system. So now we'll switch back to our presentation. So some review from the My Progress section is that you are going to see courses in various different colors, mainly green and yellow, or red if it is something that is not started. So if you see a course in green, that could mean that it's complete and it'll say completed. It could mean that it's an in-progress course. So just note that a green course doesn't always mean completed. It could mean complete, a transfer credit, or in progress. The assumption is always that you're going to be successful. You will also see some courses that are in yellow. So there are registered courses, which you can see here on the screen, that have a little check mark beside it. So if you see a yellow registered course, that is confirmation again that it's registered. Always go off of by checking, did you receive the email? Do you see it on your unofficial transcript? Is a great way to double and triple check. And then you can see that you have planned courses. Planned courses are a great way to make a plan, kind of keep yourself on track, but please note that planned courses will never just turn into registered courses unless you actually go and register for them. Also note that you can plan the same course in different sections. So it's also important that when you're using the course planning tools as well as the My Progress, that you're checking to make sure that you don't have the same course planned in several different areas. And then finally, this is the end of our presentation. We hope that you've learned some really useful tools in using the self-service. Again, if you have any questions that we did not answer, please do not hesitate to contact academic advising or the registrar's office. And note that we do have academic advising on the Peterborough campus. We also have academic advising on the Durham campus. And you'll find, if you're an international student, the Trent International Academic Advising to be very useful as well. Our offices are open Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And if you're looking to book appointments, you can find booking information on each of our websites. So it is important to check out the website to see how we're booking. Sometimes we make changes to our schedules, and you can find those updated changes on the websites as well. So we hope that you enjoy using this new system. I think you're going to find it useful as you move through your degree. Thank you for spending this time with us, and we look forward to seeing you again in September.